Hey, what's up guys? This is Echo with Eclipsed Oasis. Hey, where's the lights? Alright, let's try this again. This is Echo with Eclipsed Oasis, and today I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks for the grappling hook and wingsuit combo. So for our first trick, I'm going to show you guys the maneuver called the swing up. And this is where you go straight down towards the ground and you swing it up at the last second with your wingsuit. This is a pretty advanced maneuver and not a lot of people can pull it off. The trick is to pull up right at the last second because you want... Alright, we're going to start off with me talking about what is the best grappling hook and why. So I prefer the beltless grappling hook. And the reason for that is it has a super long distance as well as it reels in very fast. And that's really all there is to talk about. The other grappling hooks don't even compare. It's just so far ahead of them all that just trust me on that. Like that's the one you want to use. So another thing that comes into play when it comes to the grappling hook and wingsuit is your player points. And what I recommend for my player points is at least 5 in stamina. Any more than that is kind of a waste. Any less kind of sucks. 5 I feel is like a really good sweet spot. It gives you enough to where like you can really reel in like a lot further, and it's only 5 points. So in my opinion, it's worth it. And just if you're curious what I typically do for my player points, I don't put any into mobility because it's a waste because of grapple stun lock. Like it's just pointless. I put 20 into health and then the rest of them into damage, and that is just my personal player point system. So the first tip I'm going to give you guys is like the grappling. So obviously the little yellow dot on your screen is where you're going to grapple to. Like that will be the location you're grappling. One thing you always want to do, and just literally make it a second way of life, like whenever you're playing this game, always grapple the very corner of everything. Like it doesn't matter what it is, just always grapple the corner. And a reason for this is like, say I'm trying to swing around, like say I want to swing that direction from right here. Like some people might like grapple right here and try to pull themselves over, but I mean obviously that's not going to do anything. And I'm not saying most people are going to do this, but you need to get in the habit of grappling corners of objects. So if that's the best corner I can grab right there, I grapple, and then you want to jump away from where you're trying to go. So if I'm trying to go over there, jump that way, because your goal is to keep this line as tight as possible with you on the other end of it. And the tighter it is and the faster you're going, obviously the more momentum you're going to get. So if I'm trying to grapple that direction, you grapple that corner, jump off and reel in at the same time, and then release at your most, like, I don't know how to say it, like tight position to where like when you're gonna release, you're gonna get the furthest like distance. And just make that a habit with everything. Like obviously on poles it doesn't make a difference that much. Like you obviously want to grapple to where you're gonna wrap around, but like if I were to grapple anything, I try to grapple the corner. And whenever you're climbing up objects like that, like say I want to grapple to the top of this object, like you can grapple, and then you can hold down spacebar, and a lot of times it just rockets you up. So you just hold down spacebar, and even though I was like 5 feet below it, it just rockets you up to the top and grapples onto it, or pulls yourself up. And it does that on a lot of different things as well. So the next thing I want to go over is I see a lot of people doing this on official servers. And just in case you guys are curious why like these guys aren't freaking out or anything like that, this is my PvE server. We host a bunch of different servers at Eclipsed Oasis, and yeah, this is our PvE server, and people just kind of chill here and learn the game and hang out. So no one really worries about other people being around. So just in case you were wondering. But yeah, so I see a lot of people on officials, like say you wanted to climb to the top of this. I can't tell you how many people I see just go as far as they can and then just pull up. And yeah, I mean you can do this, but it just takes so long. And especially if you don't have the upgraded grapple. Like look how long this is taking. And then you have to keep doing this. So if I were gonna do this, this is how I would do it. And not only that, but like the less amount that you have to use your grapple, like you're just wasting more and more stamina. So that whole time I'm going up, I'm wasting stam trying to climb to the top of that. And then say there's 3 enemies up there that I'm trying to fight. If I'm worried about trying to get up there, how am I going to fight them with no stamina when I get to the top? So I typically jump off, grapple the corner, and just swing yourself up. Like, let the momentum finish, and you just want to keep going up further and further and further. And you're literally not losing any stamina the whole way. And when you get to the top like that, you just swing, and you can swing. Sometimes you'll get it perfect, but if not, just grapple and hold down spacebar, and you can just land on top. And I'm still full stamina, so if I needed to fight someone, I'd be up here ready to go, instead of having to sit there and waste it all just climbing straight up in a line. And not only that, but like, they're just gonna see you coming up in a straight line and be ready for you. If you're swinging around, there's no way, you know, if you have 2 or 3 people, there's no way they're gonna be able to sit there and follow you swinging, because you could be swinging up from any direction at the end. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is momentum with the grappling and the wingsuit combo. So I see a lot of people as well, like say they wanted to get from this pillar to that pillar over there. They would just literally bebop off the side and fly over. And you can see how much height I've lost just by jumping off, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to fly straight across because I didn't have much momentum and I didn't have much height. Granted, that wasn't that hard, but if I were to do this and I wanted to fly straight over, because again, say there were enemies over there and I wanted to just fly over there, like, I would grapple to this corner right here. So what you want to do is you want to jump off that direction, like out as far as you can, and then max grapple right to the corner right there, and then swing all your momentum, and when you get to its highest point, you let go, and then you can wingsuit over. And if you pull it all off correctly, it'll look something like this. So I'm at my max height before I start falling, and then I activate wingsuit. And see, you can see how much further I got and how much faster it was to get over. And now I'm ready to fight. If people were over here, I'd already be ready to fight. Just as a fun little example, just for those who are curious, like how people are so easily able to get their fragments and stuff like that, this is an example of what it would look like if I were stealing somebody's frags on official. I would literally glide in on my wingsuit, just like this. Get close to the POI. Literally grapple around like this. Activate. Bam, bam, bam. Steal, steal, steal. Come to the top. And then you literally just jump off like this. And right now people are chasing you and they'd be freaking out. But you grapple onto a temple side like that. And you can literally just get all the momentum you want and get out. And that was a little rough example. Like, I fell right there. But typically, like, if you do it, it's so easy. Like, it's so easy to get fragments. So if anybody was curious, that is how it's done. Like a typical run on how to get free frags out of the temple. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the wingsuit for a second. And the wingsuit it's definitely kind of hard to master, but once you get it down, it is by far the best item in the game. So the controls are kind of like an airplane. So when you want to go down, think up, and whenever you want to go up, think down. As in, like, say I jump off of this right here. If I click S on my keyboard, I'm going to go up. And if I jump off of this and click W and hold down W, I'm going to go straight down. Like, the inverted controls are what you have to keep in mind. I see a lot of people just, like, I see a lot of people trying to use the wingsuit, and then you'll just see them, like, spam like this right here. And you take fall damage because, you know, you don't really know what you're doing. To activate the wingsuit, you literally just want to hit the spacebar one time, and it'll activate it straight away. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about as well with the S and D, or S and W, I'm sorry. So say you wanted to jump off of this and you want to just glide as far as you can. You don't want to hold down S because you'll just stall out if you hold it down too far. You literally just want to hold it just long enough to where you're flattened out and you're not going down like really far. So an example of this would be like jump off, activate, hold it down until you just flatten out enough to glide, where you're barely pointing down. And this is how you get your maximum distance out of the wingsuit, just by gliding. Alright, the next thing we're going to go over is people on officials, or in general, use the wingsuit and grapple. I see a lot of this. I see, like, if they're panicking, say they're getting chased or running from someone, they'll grapple and then they'll just run in the direction that their grapple is. This is not what you want to do, because you saw how long that took for me to start getting momentum to get away from people, right? Like, I was running with my grappling hook, and that's not what you want to do. The object is Hang on, I'm gonna have to kill this guy. Sorry about that. So the object is you want to grapple to the highest point that you can, because if you're grappling right here, you're not gonna, you're just not gonna go very far. But always, and get good at flicking. Like, being able to flick your grapple is like life or death sometimes. Like, if I'm getting chased, you gotta be able to just look up, grapple as fast as possible. Like, look at that flick and look how high I got, without having to like sit there and stare at the air and all this. Like, you gotta be able to where you can just flick it like quick. That'll be a life and death situation in a lot of scenarios. So you want to get good at being able to just instinctively just flicking, like knowing where you're trying to grapple. So, and what I mean by keeping the line straight and stuff like that and not running with your grapple, like, look, as you can see, my line is losing how tight it is because I'm running with it, and all the line is just unreeling itself pretty much. So when you grapple to the highest point, always run away from your grapple. So grapple to where you want to go and suck in and pull away from your grapple. And what that'll do is it'll make it to where you like get as far as you can away from the point, and it'll tighten it up and throw you in the air as quick as possible. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to do something called like fast grappling. And this is where you're weaving through the trees in like a snake format, to where you're going like left to right while going straight at the same time. And this is, really only recommended if you're using like a grapple and no wingsuit at all. So what you want to do is you want to start off like I told you, like grapple the top of the tree and pull yourself away and get some momentum. And then you want to let it swing you around to the right, and then you want to grapple to the left of a tree and go to the right, and then grapple back and go left. And what you're doing is you're just getting like insane momentum while doing this. And if you do it right, I don't really have many trees to work with right here because it'll cut off right there. You can literally weave back and forth through the trees going super fast. Like, if you get a good combo going, you'll be going so fast and so far, like, it's insane. You can cover the map so quickly doing that. Now I'm going to show you guys how to get like the most momentum off of a single tree. So you might see just a lot of people like grapple a tree to the top and then like cut it right here and then go. And look how much momentum I got. Sure, it's enough to like get to where I want to go, but like you can go so much further if you do it the correct way. So the correct way, in my opinion, to get the most out of a single tree and the highest and the furthest point is you want to start off by grappling as high as you can. Swing, release, look back at the tree, swing again, and repeat the process one more time. And then swing, and then you're reeling yourself in. And that really wasn't like that good because I didn't flick it very good, but you can get a lot higher and a lot further in your travel time if you swing back and forth on a single tree. Okay, let me see if I can do it right here. So like, say I wanted to turn around like a 180. It's kind of hard to explain unless you just do it, but swing back and forth on a tree, and especially these big ones right here, you can get insanely high using these. Here, let me show you an example, because I'll be able to do it on this one pretty easy. So swing, get to where I think my grapple is going to let out, and then swing back. And then look how high I am. Like, look at this. This is insane. And you can literally fly insanely far just by doing this. Alright, now I'm going to do something I like to call the grapple and glide combo. And this is where you use a mixture of the grappling hook to get your momentum, but then use the glider to glide to the next tree that may be out of range of you just using the grapple alone. So say I'm trying to travel way over there, and this is where I start. So obviously I'd start off with all the techniques, flick to the top, and I would use the technique where I get as much momentum off of a single tree by swinging back and forth for a second. And then I would glide, because there's no way I would have reached this tree without gliding right there. And then release again, flick it, glide, and then release it and flick again. And then right here, like obviously I would not reach these trees right here. So I'm going to glide, release, flick it. There's no way I would reach those trees right there, so I'm going to glide. And it's good to have momentum by free falling ahead of the tree like this. I didn't wait until I got right on the tree to release. I waited while I was a little bit in the air. And so right here, glide again, because there's no way I'm going to reach any of these trees. And then glide here, and I'm going to release right here so I can get a bunch of momentum on the free fall. And then flick again. And you just pretty much repeat this process the whole way you're going. And there's Mr. Crab. So obviously like right here, and you can even do this like free falling into the shorter trees as well. And if I wanted to turn around, you just do something like that. And this next tip is a pretty obvious one, but obviously if you're trying to grapple, it's not good to grapple on areas where there's not much overhang. So like right here, if I was trying to grapple around this rock, I would not grapple right here and like try to go around, because obviously I'm gonna hit right here. There's really not much overhang. Always like look at your surroundings. You need to always be aware of like what's around you. Like for instance, if I was running from someone right here, this is a prime example of where I would want to jump off and grapple away. Because like if I was getting swarmed by like 5 guys right here, if I'm just trying to go up this, I'm gonna run out of stamina. Like you're gonna panic, you're not gonna be able to get around anything, and then right here you're just cornered. You're gonna get meleeed to death and you're gonna die and lose all your stuff, including your wingsuit, which is not a good thing. So always look at your surroundings everywhere you go, because in this game position is literally everything. So if I were getting chased by people, if I couldn't fight them and win, if I was getting overrun, I would use this to my advantage right here. Grapple to that, and look at this overhang that I can literally wrap around. And you always want to go to the corner of everything, because see how I went to the corner of that? I can swing around. And just like this, always use the corners to your advantage. And you want to release and always flick back to the next corner. And this is how you swing around objects so easily in this game. You don't hold the grapple too long, and you don't release too soon. You want to release just at the right time to where you're going to fly around and have enough momentum to grab the next corner. And this is what's going to allow you to get out of really sticky situations. Like if I were to overhang right here and I didn't let go, see look, I just lost all my momentum. I'm going to have to restart. But luckily this rock has a little bit of an overhang, which isn't that bad. Like right here's an example. Like there's really not much of an overhang right there. But then once you get to an overhang, like right here, you can flick, and there's a good overhang right here. You can flick and then continue on with your journey. So for now, that's pretty much all the tips and tricks that you need to get started with the grappling wingsuit combo. Obviously there's a lot more that you can do. It just takes a lot of practice. It really does. Like if you don't put the hours into it, you're not going to learn it, because it really is like a learning curve to do the combos correctly and get the most out of it. But it is a very recommended item. Like it is my favorite item in the game by far. Like the wingsuit is amazing. But other than that, I am going to tell you guys about our community. We are Eclipsed Oasis, and we are currently the largest community server community on Last Oasis. So if you guys are interested in joining on our servers, you can join our community by clicking on the Discord link below in the description, and we'd be glad to have you. So for now, I'm going to show you guys some just simple gameplay of me grappling around, and you can enjoy and watch how I would use the grapple on a day-to-day basis, and maybe even see some more tips and tricks as I'm just flying around. And you'll see me using all the things I just taught you all together, and some just fun things that you can do with the grappling hook.